Mark Simone, WOR radio show host, Hall of Fame nominee, by the way. John Carney, Breitbart Economics, co-author of the Breitbart Business Digest with his cult following. And Joe Concha, media and politics columnist at The Messenger and Fox News contributor, and his cult following book, Come On Man, The Truth About Joe Biden's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Presidency. I love that. Just love that. All right, Mark Simone, you heard my thoughts. What did I miss? Am I wrong? Does yesterday, last night change anything? Does Donald Trump still have his very strong hold on the Republican Party? Or are there hiccups or what?
Well, I'm not as positive as you are about last night. You gave him the perfect setting, the magnificent Reagan Library. You had the Fox Business Network, the most dignified, classy network you could be on, and they were yelling and screaming and interrupting and jumping up and down like bad game show contestants. I think it just covered up the substance of what they were saying. Nobody moved the needle last night. If anybody benefited, maybe Vivek Ramaswamy, only because they kept attacking him all night. They kept hitting him, making it seem like he was the front runner. Chris Christie has to drop that whole thing about Trump's a coward. We've watched what Donald Trump's gone through in the last few months. Nobody thinks he's a coward. That line has got to go.
Nikki Haley had some good points, but one thing I didn't like, Mark, she has a sort of school-marmish way of slapping down. She did it to Vivek, but she did it to a couple of other people, too. I don't know where that's coming from, but I don't think that helped her at all. In fact, I think last night probably hurt her whole position. What you think?
Yeah, she's got a mean streak in her. You know, she gets this wonderful job from Donald Trump, then leaves and writes a book calling him a racist. I thought that was just awful. The next thing you know, she's his friend again. I don't trust her. I thought that was the fact that Vivek is using TikTok is not the most outrageous thing in the world. He has a point. It's a great way to communicate with many generations. So she was wrong to go after him. There may be things wrong with him, but dumb is not one of them.
Yeah, dumb's not. I just don't like that school-marmer stuff. Joe Concha, please weigh in on how you saw this debate and whether it changes anything.
Doesn't change anything. I'm in agreement there. Last night's debate, guys, felt like watching, the playing game to make it in the NCAA tournament, without Donald Trump there. And we're more than 3 months away from Iowa, and yet there's this feeling of inevitability at this point. I mean, two polls came out this week, Washington Post, ABC News, The Messenger, and Harris X. First one has Trump up by 10 points over Biden. The second from The Messenger has Trump up by 5. And we're seeing for the first time, Trump is now favored to beat Biden in the general, according to the Real Clear Politics betting averages. So the trend is very real. And to your point on in your monologue, Larry, how do any of these candidates stand out and draw a contrast with Donald Trump when they agree with him on almost every issue from a macro perspective on the economy, how to lower inflation, increase wages, get back to energy independence, secure the U.S. southern border, how to give power back to parents and education, how to make people feel safer in their towns and cities and communities again. So if there's no real contrast and Trump's base is so loyal and you can't use the argument, he's not electable, I am, when Trump's leading in these polls the way he is, how do you make inroads at this point?
Yeah, those are great points. Those are good common sense points. I agree with you. John Carney, after the first debate, you wrote this great piece saying inflation was the #1 issue, but the Republicans didn't talk about inflation. And then you followed it up with another piece about the economy. So last night, how many times did you hear inflation or the economy? In other words, John, did they get to the meat and potatoes of why Bidenomics is a total failure across the board?
They did a little better this time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they did a little better this time, Larry, than they did last time. It definitely came up. Part of it was actually Stuart Varney began with the economy. That was great to, focus it on something that was very important. The candidates did an okay job, actually, a couple times when they were asked maybe not so great questions of pivoting to economic issues, which is what I thought that they absolutely needed to do. But frankly, they really should have driven home the point on inflation a lot more. There's so many issues that ties back to inflation. I was just reading Ronald Reagan from back in 1980, where he explained to people very well that interest rates were so high because inflation was so high. Housing was unaffordable because interest rates were so high. These are very important points to draw the connections to voters. Hey, you know why you can't afford a house right now? Because interest rates are so high. You know why interest rates are so high? Because Bidenflation drove them so high. Hey, we're having a strike of UAW workers. Why are they striking? because Biden inflation drove their wages through the floor. These are points that a Republican candidate can very easily make. I didn't hear any of them really making that point. And, and as you said, Vivek did a good job of drawing together all of the plans, but nobody else really did.
John, I agree with you, listening to your critique. I don't think they got to the kitchen table. I don't think they really got to the worrisome nature, the pocketbook issues. As you say, inflation, prices are rising faster than wages. That's what the UAW strike is about in large measure. But that's a generic problem across the board. That's why Joe Biden has 25% approval rating on the economy, because people are getting killed, and gasoline and food and all the rest of it. They didn't quite get there. There were snippets of it, and Vivek put it together pretty good. But I also, Mark Simone, I wanted to see like a full blast, full bore. Bidenomics is big government socialism, to use Newt Gingrich's phrase of a year ago. Newt's coming on the show a bit later. And a full-throated support of free enterprise, economic, capitalist. I mean, go for it. That's what Republicans, Democrats have become socialists. We want to know that Republicans are going to stay on the capitalist path, because that's what will restore growth. I didn't hear that. I'd like to pound it, Mark Simone. I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much.
No, you're not. This is what you want in a debate. You're looking for a big plan, the big picture, but you need somebody big to do that. Donald Trump said he didn't see a president up there. They're not big enough, presidential enough. And, I mean, frankly, they're just a collection of very good middle managers. There's not a CEO in the bunch yet.
Mm. Yeah, the commander-in-chief CEO.
Can I just tell you my favorite line of the night?
Yes.
My favorite line of the night didn't come from the debate stage. It was Donald Trump saying that in his administration, the gas engine will be legal and transgender surgery will be banned. This was a great line. It brought together the economic issues facing the country, and it brought together the cultural issues we're facing. One sentence, nobody on that stage can rival that. That's why he's the front runner right now.
No, you're right. He does it in a way that nobody else does it. It's like the CNN debate when he said drill, baby, drill, which became Joe Concha. I mean, I like my debaters to really debate, like in the Oxford Union in England or something. I like them to slam bang. I mean, I wanted them to really slaughter Joe Biden, okay? Take no prisoners. Call him every name in the book. Show this and show that. That's what's missing. There's like this, you know what I'm getting at? I mean, it's like your book. Your title is 3 lines of how bad Biden is. That's what they should have. They should have just used the title of your book. It would have been more effective. Go ahead, Joe. Last word.
Perhaps. Okay, borrowing from Ronald Reagan, you played one clip before in a debate with Jimmy Carter. I thought his line against Carter was even better when he said, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Are you better off, America, than you were 2.5 years ago?" And an overwhelming majority will say no. Then you ask the question, do you think Joe Biden will get better or worse with age as he goes into a second term? Almost all, including Democrats, will say no. You ask those two questions, that's a pretty easy choice to make now, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. All right. Well, life goes on. Primaries, polls. We'll get but the first primary, the first voting is in Iowa, which is in 4 months. We shall see. Joe Concha, thank you. Mark Simone, thank you. John Carney, thank you.